Welcome back to Mornings, and this is our discussion about IVF and egg donation. Again, we're joined by Janie and her husband Joe, as well as in Melbourne, Faith Haugh, who has donated over 30 times. Now, these eggs that Faith has donated have been given to many, many families. And a very good morning to you, Faith.
Good morning.
Thank you for joining us. And also we have our fertility specialist, Dr. Rick Gordon. Hi, Rick.
Carrie Ann, how are you?
Faith, if I could actually ask you, you have donated 30 times. What does this procedure involve?
It actually involves probably about 10 days worth of fertility drugs. And in that 10 days, you actually have a blood test and a scan as well to make sure you're producing enough eggs. And at the end of that, they're surgically removed. But it's through the vagina, so you're not cut open anywhere or anything like that. And the eggs are taken out. And
you've done this 30 times?
I think it turned out to be about 33 times.
Wow. Clearly time-consuming, clearly, you know, in terms of the surgical procedure, must be more than a little inconvenient. What is your motivation?
Well, I just think there's so many people that can't have children that should be parents, and there are so many parents that shouldn't be parents. And I truly think that if someone wants to pour that much emotion and money and effort into becoming, you know, mothers and fathers, why shouldn't they have a child, or someone at least give them the opportunity to try to have one? As you know, in Australia, we're not paid to be egg donors, so therefore it's purely, you know, purely from the heart. Definitely.
How many of your biological children are there now?
I have 17 children that are born to donor parents or recipients, and I have one child of my own.
Mm-hmm. Now, Rick, in this situation, it is now illegal for Faith to donate an egg to our guests here. Why is that?
Well, you can understand that if one person is responsible for so many children, that there is an increased chance, say in the Melbourne environment, of these people meeting each other and or breeding. So the guidelines around Australia would suggest that, or not suggest, but they mandate that we only use a donor for a maximum of 10 different families. And that's where Faith's eggs have gone, to these 10 different families. So she has, unfortunately, as being a very fertile person, has reached her limit. And that precludes her now from continuing to donate. So it's just, we need lots more Faiths out there who might come forward and help the Joe and Janes of the world.
And I'm sure maybe some of those people may be watching this morning and or certainly have some views on what we're discussing. But we'd invite you, morningtalk@9.com.au, to give us your views or your thoughts, and maybe, as Rick said, a suggestion of being a donor.
Well, yes, right. I mean, young, fit, healthy women, preferably who've had children themselves. It's easy for a male, of course, to donate a sample, but for a female, as Faith says, she has to go through the drugs and the operation to have the eggs collected.
Now, Janie, you know Faith. Knowing that she is willing and still has some eggs there to donate, what does that say to you?
I feel frustrated, yeah, that it can't happen. I'm just hoping that it will be Faith, but if it's not, I'm just hoping that there'll be someone else out there that can help Joe and myself. Like I've said, we really want to be parents, and this is the only way we can do this.
How close are you and Faith?
Close are we? Yeah, she comes over and has a cup of tea and a laugh and a chat, and isn't that right, Faith?
Yeah, absolutely. And we've also put together the ads for, you know, advertising for an egg donor to come forth, which we've put up more so in Janie's suburb and also in mine.
Now, because you have donated this now 33 times, 10 families have received your children, but there is a very, very slight chance that this may happen. Can you explain how that might happen, Faith?
What might
Well,
happen?
there is one particular family who these eggs are available to, I understand.
There is one family that still have frozen embryos, so they're still considered a family, a viable family, and unless they fail to have a pregnancy produced out of these embryos, or they just destroy the embryos, then that leaves me with another family.
Tell me,
But
in terms of the law,
sorry.
these days, I mean, at 18 years of age, can a baby born from IVF find their biological parents? What is the law attached to that now?
Don't forget, we're talking two different things. IVF, most parents are using their own eggs and sperm, but in the case of egg donation, such we're talking now, it depends on a state-by-state basis, would you believe. There are registers out there in states like Victoria, in somewhere like New South Wales, and those records are kept so that, yes, you can chase up your biological parents if indeed they are willing for that information to be given. We would strongly encourage parents and children to be very open with each other and to let them know about their biological origins.
And Faith, how does that sit with you, knowing, you know, you have several biological children now, that you will meet them?
I actually see about 6 or 7 of them once every couple of months, and that's totally up to the parents' decision to do that. I think it's because I make them feel really comfortable, that I really think they've forgotten how their child was conceived. So I'm just looked at as a friend that we catch up for coffee with. But I've always said in counselling prior to donating to the recipients that if they did actually end up having a child, that one day, should the subject come up and the child come to me, they will be reminded that they were just that extra bit special because they were so hardly fought for. I don't look at any of these children as my own. I just think it's really rewarding to give someone that chance to become parents.
That is a unique position, not looking at them as your own.
I think you have to be really clear-headed before you make the decision to donate. You have to think of everything. It's not just that's short-term, you know, the possibility of pregnancy, but you have to think long-term that, yes, that one day they may approach you and say, you know, genetically, are you my mother or you are my mother? But, you know, all those kind of things are discussed and mapped out before anything surgically goes through anyway.
Very strong message to other women, clearly, who may be in the same, in the position of perhaps donating eggs. What would you say to them, Faith?
I would say definitely contact the Royal Women's or a Monash hospital, go to an information night. The biggest thing that is stopping women in this country from donating is the lack of knowledge. I myself have emailed every fertility specialist in this country asking them to have written support so I could produce a booklet that would be distributed to every hospital so couples can take home or a woman can take home, and it would cover everything in regards to egg donation, morally, legalities, medically, and I only had 3 letters of support. So it's not just lack of public knowledge, it's a lack of, you know, the medical base wanting to put it out there. But it's definitely something rewarding.
Yeah. Well, Faith, thank you very much. We really do appreciate it. Do you have a comment on that?
No, it's just the difference between, say, Australia and America. Of course, donors can be paid over there. So if Faith was in America, she'd be a very rich lady now. So she's a unique person who's going to do this for an altruistic reason, out of the goodness of her heart. And there are lots of other people out there knowing the situation who I'm sure could help as well.
Jenny and Joe, we wish you all the very, very best.
Thank you, Carrie Ann.
I do.
Thank you
Any
very much.
last words for people watching?
Just if there's anyone out there that's willing to help us, be greatly appreciated, and thank you.
Terrific. Okay, we've got another part of this discussion after this, and we're going to meet one of the IVF's original successors, and she owes her life, her birth, to technology.